not on the field, court or ice. CWall. You're on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall. Delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from the hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Bitch, shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am. Through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your Washington football team update, and I am your host, CWall. I am ever so excited, as always, to be with you all to go down all of the happenings. This show is specifically about the Washington football team. So, if you have any Washington football team loving family and friends, you want to make sure that they are tuned in to this show. We're just going to go down the rundown. And in the spirit of transparency, because y'all know I can't help myself, because we are now on cable, we're now on television, I am on a time crunch. So this is going to be interesting because y'all know I like to talk. Anywho, we got to check in with everybody. I see the CWall family is checking in. Of course, I see CWall team member who moderates the chat so efficiently and effectively, Joy. I see Russ. I see John Adams. I see Damon. I think I see Cameron Mingo. I'm sure my mom has checked in at some point. You all make sure you greet her when she comes on. Make sure you all are tagging in a friend or family member to join us in this conversation, because you all know there's never, absolutely ever a dull moment in any DC sport. But when it comes to the Washington football team, I don't even know if there is anything to say. I don't think dull moments exist with the Washington football team. But anyway, let's move on. Let's get it going. I see folks are checking in. All right. Yes. Well, wait. Week 5, right? Week 5, Washington football team against the New Orleans Saints. Upcoming, Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs will be at FedEx Field. But before we even get to what is happening this upcoming weekend, we absolutely have to run down everything that happened in week 5. You all know we have to start the conversation with a game you know we love to play, and that is, what's your one word? And this conversation here is simply your one word that describes how you felt at the end of the week 5 game versus the New Orleans Saints. Your one word. And I see Daniel already has some commentary here in terms of how he was feeling. So, got disappointed, disgusted, tired. Why? Distraught. Week 5. We're in a bad situation. Expected, sad situation a little bit, right? We'll have to continue to talk about this. We're going to go through this conversation and we're going to talk about it. I tried to play the one word even for myself, and it wasn't working out. But I think that the week 5 game against the Saints is truly a game of missed opportunities. this was a winnable game. Soon as the game got started, and even with the Washington football team blunders, it was like the team still had a chance. So I was like, wait a minute. They can still absolutely win this game, but they did not. And it definitely has a lot that needs to be discussed. So let's move right on into the conversation. Big news on injuries. We know that Sam Cosmi was injured yesterday. I will say that from a special teams perspective, listen, you got to give credit where it's due. I have absolutely nothing negative to say about Dustin Hopkins. Can you believe that? I have nothing negative to say about Dustin Hopkins because Dustin Hopkins made all of his field goals. So that was a good thing. That was a solid thing. He's definitely hearing all of that feedback. So no commentary there. I do want to move to the offense next. Now, before we get into any challenges on offense, here's what I must say offensively. Look, I saw this stat today on PFF. When is Terry McLaurin going to get the respect that he deserves? I feel like it is time for someone. Now, now let me be clear. I don't think he gets the national recognition from a media perspective. I think folks are starting to catch on, but it was abundantly clear to me that the New Orleans Saints were absolutely aware of the type of player that Terry McLaurin is because Marshawn Lattimore was on Terry all day, as he should have been. Shadowed Terry all day. Both sides of the field. Hey, listen, hey, that's what they say. If that's your best corner, put your best corner on the best receiver. That's the way it's supposed to go. Terry McLaurin, I've said this time and time again, has been a saving grace more times than not. Now, yesterday, this is moving on to my topic about the offense. I think the challenge yesterday, it's abundantly clear and rightfully so. So let me say this. It was abundantly clear and rightfully so that Terry is Taylor Heineke's security blanket. So he was just off. Now, what was kind of frustrating me at the beginning of that game, I said to myself, Marshawn is on Terry. Absolutely. At times, for sure, Terry is going to beat you. He was absolutely beating Marshawn at times, but Taylor did not have a good day. And the other thing about that was, okay, you're not having a good day. That's first and foremost. Secondly, their best corner is on the best receiver. There are other people open. DeAndre Carter was open a number of times at the beginning of the game. And I was like, well, DeAndre Carter's just running right on past this person. He's just running, they're just running freely out there. Why don't you try throwing it to DeAndre? Not a good day for Taylor. Now, listen, we've talked about this, right? We have absolutely talked about this. And what we've discussed is going to see some growing pains. Absolutely. We're going to talk about the growing pains in a bit. But with Taylor, this is what you're going to see. You will probably see pretty much the same thing from a Kyle Allen as well. They started utilizing DeAndre a bit more later in the game once it clicked to everybody. Oh, wait, DeAndre, you know what? He's open. Yeah, he is. Because everybody knows they're going to cover Terry. So that troubled me because at the same token, it's like, hey, listen, Curtis Samuel goes out on an injury. We already knew the team was going to use him week to week. It's just this growing thing. It's going to still keep going on. That he's injured. He's a hurt player, and he's coming out there and he's trying to make a move, and he's further injuring himself. So that is absolutely something that needs to be watched. But yesterday, it was evident. Okay, a couple things. It was fine a few weeks ago when there wasn't as much film on Taylor. There's enough now. There's enough. He's going to Terry. Everybody knows he's going to Terry. And it seemed as though when he wasn't sure about how to throw it to Terry, he was trying to make something happen. And the decision making in the middle of it, it wasn't going down. You hear players say all of the time, there were several reads that weren't working. So you got to make something happen. The decision making has to be there. And I wasn't all that impressed with the Saints. I mean, they all right, but Taylor made some mistakes. And we saw this a couple weeks ago where it was like, "Ooh, Taylor, they on to you now. Everybody is on to you now, my friend. And this has to be corrected." So not the day that I was hoping to see from Taylor Heineke. I don't know. It's here's one thing I can't say about Taylor Heineke. Here's one thing I can't say. And I want to go back to a point about Dustin Hopkins here in a moment. Here's what I can say about Taylor. He's resilient. You know, Taylor mess up and Taylor gonna come back. And I'm like, well, good for you, Taylor, because that what you just did before that was terrible. At any rate, it continued to be terrible. And then that was the issue yesterday. Quarterback play was absolutely a reason that the team lost that game. Absolutely one of the reasons. The defense finally showed up. Oh, I wasn't supposed to even mention this yet. The defense finally showed up at times. The defensive front, let me be clear, the defensive front, and then the offense couldn't do anything with it. So that was unfortunate, an unfortunate thing to see yesterday. Now, I want to move back to a comment I made about Dustin Hopkins. Dustin Hopkins absolutely made all of his field goals, but let me tell you something. And I noticed this in week 4 against the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, I noticed this before with the Atlanta Falcons. Everybody knows that Dustin Hopkins is the kicker, right? Okay, that is a fact. He absolutely is. But when I had to laugh to myself, but when Ron Rivera, when they made the decision, Scott Turner, Ron Rivera made the decision to go for that 4th and 14, I said, yet again, let's all be aware of something, because had they kicked the field goal, that would be a 53-yarder, I believe, right? Went for the 4th and 14. They don't trust Dustin. They don't trust Dustin. Do you? Now, they converted the 4th and 14. But things like that are indicators to me that the trust is not all the way there with Dustin Hopkins. It's not. And I want to say something. The late Rich Handler, one of the first folks that I met when I started this business, would always say, don't believe what they say, watch what they do. So in the Atlanta Falcons game, we saw that you can either kick this extra point or you can go for a 2-point conversion, even when you're winning, and he's still going for 2-point conversion. Dustin didn't see the field anymore. So that 4th and 14 was very clear to me. Rondo, Dustin not gonna make that field goal, and he don't even have time. His risk taking was simply this: he had more faith on the offense executing the 4th and 14, trial by fire, whatever you would like, versus having Dustin go out there. Keep that in mind. Continue to watch all of those types of things on if they really trust the kicker. Now, let's move on to the defense, because I'm sure this is exactly what you all wanted to talk about after this week 5 game against the New Orleans Saints. Let me ask this question up front, and then we're going to continue on with the conversation. But I've been asking this question. I've been hearing it so much. Do you all think Landon Collins should play linebacker? I really want to know what you think. Do you think he should play linebacker? I'm just asking that as a blanket question because I know I've been hearing that a lot. That he's a lot, more, stronger in that area. But I feel like he was pretty much playing the linebacker position, in the game, and he still looked like Landon Collins. So, I mean, I don't know if it matters. But at any rate, I just wanted to throw that out there. So listen, it was nice to see Chase Young do what he did early on in the game. Definitely went with the defensive 5 up front and getting some pressures there. So I did enjoy watching that. But the issues in the secondary are troubling. It's so disturbing. But what we have to do is, I'm going to show you all. I don't know if you all listened to Ron Rivera's press conference, and this is the press conference that he gives the day after the game. And Nikki Jabvala from the Washington Post asked about changing up the scheme or any of the coaching. And here's a bit long of a video, but I definitely want you all to listen to this. Take a listen.
I was asked after the game, but and similar to last year when there were issues with the quarterback play, but is there a breaking point for you on the defense where you feel perhaps a coaching change, scheme change, significant personnel changes are necessary?
Yeah, that stuff, that makes no sense to me right now, because if you really go back and look at it, and this is probably the first time that I could really say that you look at a game and say, this was a matter of 4 or 5 plays, okay, on both sides of the ball. If we do certain things and eliminate a couple of these here and a couple of these, we have a chance. I know you can't, okay, but to sit here and talk about stuff like that after, really, if you look at a defense, it would probably amounted to really just 2 plays. Okay, and to me, that's the way I'm looking at it. I thought we took some strides. I thought we did some positive things. We did a couple of things that we needed to. And unfortunately, when it came time to do a couple other things, we didn't do them. We didn't execute it properly. Could we have been something different? Yeah, maybe. But to want to sit here and make wholesale, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me right now. It really doesn't. And whether it's breaking time or not, that's a decision I'll make at the time I think is right for us, as far as I'm concerned when it comes to those types of things. What I'm looking at is, did we improve? Did we get better? I don't know. I thought I did say that we were a little immature. We had some things we had to grow and get better at. And I'll continue to say that. This is a young football team. It doesn't excuse us for making the mistakes we did, but we do have to be better. We have to be more consistent. We have to play better. We got to make sure we're putting the players in position to have success, guys. And that's the way I look at it.
So I said, okay, all right. Listening to Ron, I hear it was resonating. Now, it was another question later on in the conversation about his role as a head coach when a unit is struggling, right? And you could tell Ron getting a little tired of the questions, okay? But let me let you all listen to this, and then we're going to move on to the next part of this discussion.
Going like the way.
Well, you guys really want to go there, don't you? The truth of the matter, guys, is I oversee it. I look at it. I talk to the coaches. I talk to the players. Okay, we talk about what we're doing. We go through all that, whether you're doing well or you're not doing well. It is a matter of getting involved. When certain things have to happen in the appropriate moment, when I feel that it needs to be done, I'll do it. It's that simple, okay? We're trying to build and create. And if you're constantly mixing and changing and moving and doing things, you never really find out, okay? If we had done anything drastically crazy last year, we did it after I felt that it was time to do it. And that's what we're going to do here. I don't see the issues the way you guys do, okay? I have the opportunity to watch the tape, to break the tape down, to look at what we're doing and look at how we're doing it, okay? And as we go through these things, we're trying to make sure that we're doing things the right way. If we're not, we're trying to correct them and working to correct them. All right. We only, the tough part is you only have 53 guys, and you try to use to the best of their abilities to put them in position to have success. And that's what we're doing. And to be very honest, as I said, we had 2 plays that if you could take back, it's a different conversation, but you can't, which I get. But I'm not going to damn the rest of it. Okay, we played 56 plays on defense. Okay, the other 54 I'm not going to damn just because 2 of them weren't where they're supposed to be. Okay, I mean, really, seriously, think about it. Think about what those 2 plays mean. And again, you can't change them, but that's not the reason. That's not the sole reason. Okay, there was. If you really think about it, there was almost 200 plays in that game, offense, defense, and special teams. A lot of things happened in that period of time.
Right.
So I'm checking out everybody's comments. And when things like this start to happen, I put on my organization development hat. So one of the things that I do in my consulting world is not only do I do strategic communications and facilitation, I also help organizations develop. And part of that is team development. Now, I see comments about the team was in last place, or the team was in first place last year and beyond. Let's be for real. Everybody manage your expectations. 2 years ago, the team won 3 games. Last year, the team won 7. 7. That is not the mark or the look and feel of a team that is good. I didn't even say great. Good. 7 wins. Not good. Now, also, last year at this time, the team was in the same position that they're in now. Exactly in now. Now, here's what I want to share with you all from an organization development perspective, because this is absolutely applicable. And I hope you all see this. This is a framework for team development. Here's why I think this is so important to share. This is important to share because in any teaming environment, right, you go through these stages. Here's an important point that even I had to go back through into my head and go into my arsenal of, all right, I have plenty of leadership tools. I have plenty of team development tools. I can share this with the Washington football community, right? Because again, it matters. Every time there is a change on a team, every time you go back to the beginning, right? So if you're looking here right now, you got forming, that's little agreement, unclear purpose, guidance, and direction. I don't even have to go toward performing, adjoining, norming. But in storming, you got conflict. So if there's stories about people having conflict, where there should absolutely be conflict, because somebody shouldn't be happy, not based on the product that everybody is seeing so far each week. Increased clarity of purpose, power struggles, coaching. Now, here's what I'll say directly here. At this point, typically, and I wanted to stress just the forming and storming phases of this, because it's so important. Where you talk about leadership and coaching, okay? At some point, now let's be clear. Again, new people. Anytime there's one new person, you got to go back to the beginning. Back to the beginning, okay? So here's the whole thing with that. The only person returning defensively, that's Cameron Curl. And you still have what? Cameron Curl in a different position. So here's what needs to happen. I'm going to show them this framework. But let me stop. But no, seriously. Everybody has to accept that, including the fans, including media. This is what it is. Ron Rivera got here last year. Every time you do a change occurs, you starting over. it's a new season. You starting over. So at some point, a decision is going to have to be made. Because I also believe from a coaching perspective, you have to adjust. I'm going to forever say, until coaching and player execution are married as one, it's going to be a whole bunch of everything. From a coach's perspective, you have to understand where your team is the strongest. Okay, if things aren't working your way, that's fine. That's not a failure. You can't force them into that way. But what you can do is be paying attention in such a way. Go back to where they were strong. Go back and look at the stats. Go back and look at the game. What position were they playing in when they were most effective? This is leadership 101. I'm giving y'all a class right now. This is real. Where were they most effective? Go and do it. Which position? Where were you in the scheme, in the position? Where were you? Let's go there first. Let's go there. Work it out. Simplify the playbook. Simplify it. What they're doing now, they might be forming, but they're absolutely storming. Again, part of storming is conflict. There should be conflict. Somebody ought to be mad that this thing, it doesn't make sense. But you have to be okay with the conflict. You have to be okay that it doesn't make sense. But in order to get to the place in which you are performing, you're going to have some tough conversations, and everybody is going to have to adjust. That's what's going to have to happen. Because I knew, let me tell you what did it for me. Let me tell you, when I said this is how I got to carry this conversation for the Washington football team update week 5. This right here, that Hail Mary told me everything I needed to know. I said, ooh, you got a team that's in turmoil. You got a position group, they're not on the same page. And let's be clear, this is a whole team thing, because what's another key position where there's a new person? Quarterback. Okay, but this Hail Mary right there told me everything I need to know. I said, break out the book. Break out the book, and I'm going to share it with the Washington football team fans, because the reality is this: until they're able to have that tough conversation, and have the conversation about where players are most strong. Where are you strong? Where is your strength? William Jackson has irritated me to no end this season. But guess what? Where is William Jackson the most strong? We can keep these conversations going, but I do have to shut it down for the evening. But I wanted to share that with you all because that is important for understanding teaming. You all, Ron Rivera last year, here's the thing. Ron Rivera has not lived. Most of these players weren't even born the last time this franchise won a Super Bowl. So they don't understand the 30 years of frustration that's spilling out into all of this. That's what this is. But what I want to encourage and implore the fan base and my fellow media colleagues to do is understand that this is a process. Also understand that coaching has to come together. It has to, but not until you're able to have those tough conversations and adjust accordingly. And that's just not the coaches, that's the players too. I'm not going to be up here talking about which position you want to play. Which position do you perform the best at? That is the position that you play. All right. Y'all know, listen, once we start talking football and leadership, listen, that's my bag. Anyway, all right, you guys, we have made it to another edition of the Washington football team update. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you all had as much fun as I did, and let me go down into my leadership rabbit hole. But listen, you guys, Keep tuning in. CWall Sports and Entertainment Facebook page is also can be found on channel 11 if you have Fios and channel 77 if you have Comcast Xfinity. I will see you guys again soon.
You're not on the field, court, or ice. CWall, you're on the couch. From DG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall. Delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from the hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, picking any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.